Hi, everyone. This is Dion Devon of Dion Devon's podcast, Chronicles and Reviews. We have a special guest in house, one a retired MPD officer, one of J. Jefferson, and this book, when the upcoming, book that's running on Amazon, Lorton Penitentiary, when rules are meant to be broken. So we're going to have a personal interview with Jay Jefferson, who I know personally, and one a good guy, outstanding gentleman. Also, was a dedicated officer, and he's definitely an officer and a gentleman. When we're going to go over some points of view and different things, we want him to explain his book and everything. That's running on Amazon at this time. When I made the previews on every podcast and every platform, so please go out and order and support him and read the book for yourself. So we're gonna have a brief uh, description on what's going on. When welcome,
Thank you for having me,
when
Dion.
welcome, Mr. Jefferson.
Come on, Dion. You know my name is Jay.
Hey, Jay, how you
I'm
doing?
doing good. I'm
It's
doing
good to
good.
see
Happy to be
you.
here. Happy
It's
to be
good to
here.
see you. What would you like to say to the members first before we get started?
I just want to say I appreciate everybody who brought my book, repost my book, all the DM messages, words of encouragement. I just want to thank everyone.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Uh, who's also attending here today?
Oh, my little brother Isaac Scott,
Yes, there, yes. Isaac Scott is
my
with us.
neighborhood buddy,
Yes, yes. And I'm gonna tell you, and a
fellow
blessing.
fellow MPD officer.
Yes, yes, that's right. That's right. Shout out to MPD DC. When I also the great Scott family on Capitol Heights, outstanding family. Believe that, outstanding family. I love all of them. When Mr. and Mrs. Scott was definitely my heart. So definitely. Okay, we're gonna start off with tell me something about yourself and where were you raised and where you grew up at.
Well, I was originally from Southeast DC. We started out 9 people in a small two-bedroom house. My father, he
Nine
worked.
people?
Yeah, it was 9. It was 7 kids. My mother and my father,
Mm-hmm.
9.
Wow.
Two-bedroom house. My father, he worked tirelessly to get us out of that environment.
Mm-hmm.
Then we moved to Capitol Heights, right across the DC line,
Mm-hmm.
Southern Avenue by Bennett Park, but on the Maryland side.
Right.
And I had a good childhood. We had a good childhood, a close knit group of friends, and
Mm-hmm.
what your viewers might not know is Dion and I grew up on the same block. He grew up one block down to me, so I've known him just about all his life. So just to let your viewers know, I've known you forever.
Oh yes,
So
yes.
once you reached out to me, of course, I had to come and do your podcast.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We're
Hmm.
glad to have you. Also, it's just been an inspiration. Not only grew up with him, but also worked with him at one of the facilities in Washington D.C. and whatnot. So it's been a pleasure. I didn't even know he was in the Washington D.C. Department of Corrections at all. When that's
Right.
I seen him up at
Correctional treatment facility.
the correctional treatment facility
Hmm.
next to the DC jail. So it was a pleasure seeing him again. And also, he was my sister's favorite boyfriend. She loved him. She loved him dearly. When not Tammy,
It was
my Tammy Lisa, she loved him dearly.
puppy love back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
We
it
were young.
was.
We were young.
I don't want nobody hitting you over the head, so I'll leave
Dion, you
that alone. What motivated you to be a correctional officer?
You know what? Nobody grows up saying I want to be a correction officer.
That's for sure.
Yeah, people grow up saying I want to be the police, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a firefighter, but nobody grows up saying I want to be a correction officer. But this is how it happened for me. I was in PG College,
Hmm.
community college for business management.
Okay.
My girlfriend at the time, who later on became my wife, we since divorced, but she became pregnant, right?
Hmm.
So I had to drop out of college and get a job to support my daughter, Tamika.
Hmm.
And during that time, a neighborhood friend, Brian Caesar, I don't
Hmm.
know if you remember Brian Caesar. And I ran into him at a funeral, and he asked me what I was doing, and I told him what I was doing. He said, "Jay, I work down Lorton. We making $22,000 a year benefits." And I was like, "That's all I needed here. $22,000 a year benefits. I'm gone." So I applied, and lo and behold, I was accepted.
Oh, okay. Okay. So how did you feel when you first joined the academy?
You know what? I felt, I think I was proud at the time. I really didn't know what the job entailed. I didn't know what I was getting into at the time, but I knew I had some mouths to feed, and I was
Hmm.
determined to do that.
Okay. Your first day in a prison setting, in an institution, um, what was that like? And what was that
Um,
like at being, and I want you to explain to the viewers, what is OIC?
okay, my first day into a prison setting was, to say the least, terrifying.
Yes, yes,
Nobody walks into a prison and not scared. It's humanly impossible. So I was
yes.
terrified. And then my first prison I ever walked into was the Hill Central Facility.
Okay.
The Hill was humongous.
Yeah, I didn't know you was on the hill
No, that
because I
was, you
started.
said the first prison, so that I did my
Hmm.
OJT at the Hill.
Okay.
So the Hill was humongous. And
Yes.
what struck me most about it is when I was walking through, I was like, man, these people are very up close and in person. It's personal.
Yes.
It's like you're
Dormitory
walking,
setting.
yes, you're walking down a walkway and
Hmm.
you're walking past hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who's incarcerated, and they right here, they are right around you. So it was eye opening. It was very intimidating.
Hmm. Okay. And the other institutions?
Um, I did it. My second institution I did OJT at was DC jail, and that environment was different. It was dark at the time.
Hmm.
It had a certain ambiance about it. It was
Yes.
gloomy,
Yes.
and it was dangerous. You could see it at
Okay.
things. And if you look at my book, if you read my book, something occurred my second day, and it
Yeah.
was an eye-opening experience. And when I left the jail that day, I was like, "Do I really want to do this?"
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Now, when you were after OJT, when you were, they officially assigned you to a prison institution.
Hmm.
Um, what was that day like when you first got on the assignment? And
Okay.
then also when you got on assignment as OIC.
Okay. Well, my first jail, I mean, the jail I was assigned to was called medium security. What people don't know is Lord was like 7 different facilities.
Hmm.
We had one maximum security prison,
Hmm.
we had one minimum security prison, and the rest of the prisons were medium security. Central was a medium security prison, Aquan was a
Hmm.
medium security prison, the youth centers, the modular, all medium security prisons. But yeah, so medium security was my um, first institution. And what struck me about medium compared to the Hill was it was a small facility,
Hmm.
but you had more inmates housed per dormitory.
Hmm.
Like on the Hill, how many inmates you
Hmm.
might have had in a dorm?
The big dorms in the Hollow were like 60
Right,
to maybe 80 men per dorm,
right. When I got the
and the other
medium,
ones was 34 to 42.
exactly. So when I
Hmm.
got the medium, you had over 100 people in each dormitory.
How many officers?
You'd be lucky if you had you. You'd be lucky if you
Supposed to
had.
be two.
It's supposed to be two. You'd be lucky if you had 20 officers working a shift.
Hmm.
I'm just talking about for the whole medium security. If you had 20 officers working that shift, you was doing good.
Wow,
Hmm.
wow, wow. It's kind of rough though. If there's
Um,
so many
mhm.
inmates in a dorm,
Yeah,
so
I think the average dormitory down there we had over 100. In my first OIC experience, I think I had close to 140 inmates in that dorm,
mhm.
and I was in there majority of the time by myself, except count time.
Wow.
majority of the time. Hmm.
Wow. What were some of the challenges you had to face at that prison, and
Hmm.
also at CTF as well?
Okay.
We're gonna start with medium
Hmm.
first, and then go to the correctional
Okay,
treatment
we're gonna go
facility.
back to the beginning.
Okay.
The biggest challenges I faced was when I was brand new. You know,
Mhm.
that's when you have to establish yourself, right?
Right.
So the biggest challenge I had, and this just from my perspective,
Hmm.
when I got to medium security, I was probably the youngest officer on the compound at that time.
Wow.
No, I was the youngest.
Hmm.
Most of the correction officers at that time was much older white men, older black guys,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So what I noticed about them was they was very standoffish, right?
Yeah.
They was very standoffish. They weren't communicating too much with the inmate population. So with me, when I came in, I wasn't that way. I
Hmm.
was young, they were young, so it was a line of communication for me.
Hmm.
And I think even though it wasn't told to me, I just got a sense that me communicating with them was looked down on
Hmm.
upon the
Yes.
older officers. But
Yes.
even with that, I didn't let that change who I was. I had to
Yes.
be my authentic self.
Hmm.
And that's one promise I made to myself. I'm not going to let this environment change who I am as a person.
Hmm.
And I was, like I say, I was a communicator. So, and I think that helped me out.
Okay. I'll tell you, because I understand about that. When that, when you first get on the compound,
Hmm.
all the older officers said, "Whatever you learned in the academy, whatnot, there's some booze."
Yeah.
So I know that. Yeah, they're very standoffish. And if you talk to the inmates or counselor the inmates like you're supposed to,
Hmm.
and when that's what makes you a stand-up guy.
Hmm.
Always, you've been an inspiration to the officers, and I know that personally, and
Hmm.
to the inmates. They
Yeah.
looked up to you, and a lot of people looked up to you. Had great leadership
Hmm.
and skills, whatnot. And if you associated with spoke to the inmates or whatever else and did your job, you were considered a social worker, which is considered someone, a social worker, we consider someone that's very good, beautiful person and stuff. They consider social workers weak and so on. But
Hmm.
that's the DC Department of
Hmm.
Corrections, okay?
Hmm.
We'll use
But I'm
that.
gonna say this. Another thing that really stuck out to me when I first walked on the compound, we had a sergeant. I'm gonna say his name. His name was Doug. Right. The first thing he said to me, "You got a shank?" And I'm new. I'm like, "A shank?
What?
What are you talking about? A shank?" He said, "Do you got a shank?" I was like, "No." He said, "Well, all the
Wow.
inmates got one. So the first thing we're gonna do is get you a shank." So I got a shank through him. I got a shank, and he said, "Keep it in your boot." And I kept that shank in my boot my whole career.
Wow.
But you got to understand back then, Dion. See, right
Hmm.
now they got stab vests, right?
Yes.
They got
Yes, they
OC
do.
spray, the
Hmm.
officers on the unit, right?
Hmm.
When we were there, well, when I was there, and when you first came in, we didn't have any of that.
Right.
Only
That's
thing
true.
you had was your mind, right, in your mouth. We didn't have shank. We didn't have vests.
Mm,
We didn't have OC spray.
not at
We
all.
had we had to use this, and we had to use our verbal judo,
Yeah,
which
because
I
if
didn't
you
know
didn't
what verbal
have,
judo. And your fist. There you go,
yeah,
in your
yeah,
fist. But I didn't want to get
yeah,
to that. If you
yeah,
had to, if it
yeah,
came to that,
yeah.
you couldn't be scared to get physical if it came down to that, because if you did, they was gonna punk you.
Oh yes, they were.
That's just how it
Because
was.
there was a lot of predators.
Hmm.
We'll talk about that. I think
Well,
that's
in
chapter
prison,
34.
only the strong survive.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
oh yes. There was a lot of predators. I know,
Hmm.
but it
I know
was.
we got off course, but
Oh no, no, no.
hmm
We're fine and whatnot. We're fine. We're fine. What are some of the challenges that you had to face at various institutions?
like I said, my challenges I had to face um, inside the institution I talked about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
with the older correction officers. But my challenges outside the institution that I had to face was learning how to deal with the stress,
Mm-hmm.
taking it home. And I was thinking about this earlier. I think when you're new and you're in a correctional setting, they should have a therapist
Yes.
inside every correctional facility, especially for new officers, because you're dealing with stressful situations you never dealt with before,
Yes.
and the amount of stress you deal with is unfathomable, right?
Yes.
So I think every institution should have a should have a therapist
Mm-hmm.
on hand, right,
Mm-hmm.
to talk, so you can talk to and help you deal with the stress. Because when you're new and you're dealing with that type of environment, you're taking it home with you, and like I
Yes.
say, I was never physical, with my then wife or girlfriend at the time, but I was short tempered.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was some of the challenges, learning how to navigate that stress in the correctional environment
Oh,
outside the institution.
okay. Yeah, that is a big obstacle.
Hmm.
When they should have more support instead of just the EAP program. They should have had something else on
Hmm.
hand. So I
Hmm.
agree because a
I
lot
wasn't even
of
aware of the EAP program, to be
hmm
honest with you.
hmm
Hmm.
yeah, because they should have something because a lot of officers suffer from PTSD
PTSD,
and
no
major
question.
depression and
Hmm.
some other serious issues stemming from employment.
Hmm.
Um, what strengths helped you succeed as a correctional officer?
I think my biggest strength was my communication skills.
Right.
When I was down Lorton,
hmm
I knew how to communicate with the residents.
hmm
Um, I left the line of communication open.
hmm
And when I went into a housing unit, I didn't go into a housing unit to sit down, right?
hmm
When I went into a housing unit, I went into the housing unit to communicate, because if you communicate, you know what's going on
Yes.
inside the housing unit. You're not going to know just by sitting at the desk, right?
Nah.
You're going to know by going in there, talking to each and every one of them. That's what I did when I went to work. My 8-hour tour was basically communicating with the people who was locked up in my unit,
hmm
you know? So I think my communication skills was a big strength. And this is another thing. You had to like meet them where they were, right?
hmm
So if an inmate, say for instance, showed me a picture, you know, down low, and a lot of people brag, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of it's about bragging though. It's just a lot of testosterone. So they're gonna
Yes.
brag about you. And they might show you a
Mm.
picture of their girl, right?
Yes.
So if they show me a picture of their girl, and this is how I was, I'll be like, man, you've been telling me all this time you was getting all this money on the street, but this is the best you can do. You couldn't do better than this, but that's what I'm saying. That's how I was down there. I talk trash to them, because if you come to me with a picture and the girl ain't nothing part what you telling me what you weigh on the street, I'm not addressing. I was like, dude, you couldn't do better than that.
That's that Laquita, Aisha, Kakita,
Exactly.
Wabita.
I'm like, man, her butt is all small, but that's how I communicated. But and I think that helped me get through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've
And
been showing some pictures too, and I like I said,
yeah, they show you pictures and they
well, that's
get
not my main girl. I hope not.
yeah. So that's how I did it. That's how I communicated. I kept it real. You know what I'm saying? I kept it real with the brothers, and because they gonna keep it real with you, right?
Yes,
So you
always
got to
keep
keep it
it.
real with them too.
On this channel, we believe in being
Right,
transparent and keeping
right.
it 100, and that's
Yeah,
my
there you
motto.
go.
That's what's. Why did you decide to write Lorton Penitentiary rules are meant to be broken? And what do you mean by that? Rules are meant to be
Oh, okay. First, when people find out I was a correctional officer,
broken.
right? Everybody want me to like, how was this? How was that? They want to hear the stories, right?
Yes, they do. They do.
So it was always in the back of my mind to write a book. I never thought I would do it, but it was always in the back of my mind, right?
hmm
Then when COVID hit, Isaac, my man Isaac can success for this, we had a lot of downtime, right?
hmm
We had a lot of downtime, and I started writing. I said, "No, what? This is the perfect time. If I'm going to get started, this is the perfect time, right?"
hmm
So I started writing my book, and during COVID, my sister Punchy, my older sister Punchy, she passed away from COVID. So
hmm
I would write, I would
I'm
stop,
sorry to
I
hear
was
that.
write, I would stop. So I eventually put the book down and said, "No, what? I'm not going to write this book, right?" So after I retired from the Metropolitan Police Department, right,
hmm
I'm sitting there And I was like, I need some things to do. Pick the book back up, right?
Mhm.
So when I picked the book back up, I realized I was halfway finished,
Mhm.
right? So I said, well, let me at least finish the book. So after I retired, I finished the book. After I wrote it, I sent it to my cousin Benny Kyler,
Mhm.
and he read it. And he's like, Jay, this is a good book. I said, for real? He said, yeah, man, this is a good book. I said, okay, cool. Then I sent it to my cousin Joyce, because I'm
Mhm.
telling the people I know who's gonna keep it real with me.
Mhm.
And Joyce Kyler, and she's very technical. You know what I'm saying? She's a
Mhm.
very technical person. I sent her the book, and she said, Jay, this is a good book.
Mhm.
So that's when I decided to. I said, no, what? I'm gonna go ahead and publish it. So I reached out to my editor. She's in Seattle,
Mhm.
Washington. Her name was September Herring.
Mhm.
Thank you to her. She edited the book. I got the book back. I sent it back to my cousin Joyce to proofread it. She put
Mhm.
her touches on it, and voila, I put it up. And
Oh
I forgot the
wow.
second line of question you asked.
Oh, what made you write the book? Mhm. Mhm.
What made
Mhm.
me write it?
Mhm.
Just because, like I said before, people was curious about the correctional setting. So I said,
Mhm.
let me write it,
Mhm.
and I wrote it.
Okay.